This conference will now be recorded.
Am I audible to you all? Response me yes, no, say something. Whether am I audible to you? Good, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Anybody has a doubt for the previous class? Posting period variant. We have done two things: fiscal year variant and posting period variant. Any doubts in these two concepts? Response me at least yes, no. Okay. So in today's class, we'll see about tolerance group. Tolerance. What do you mean by tolerance? Can someone say me what is tolerance? You can say me in a general terms. I'm not asking as per the accounting terms. Generally, in general terms, I'm asking you.
Being patient.
Yes. Okay. Tolerance. That means how much patience we have for any situation, right? Same thing here also. Now, the tolerance here depends upon how we are going to tolerate, that is number of transactions, the income what we have to receive, right? It can be based on number of transactions. Okay, so outstanding, which means whether we pay, that is payable or receivable. Payable or receivable. Okay, so based on this, how much tolerance we have, how much, till what extent we can tolerate. Okay, this is what is the tolerance group. So we will proceed with the configurations. So first I'll show you the configuration using the navigation also. See why? Because there are two types of tolerance group configuration. Where is the mouse cursor? Okay. I'll just turn off this. Let me try to reconnect once again. Fine then. Now, just give me a moment. Let me cross check with that. Okay, what is happening? Then I'll let you know. Okay, so this was due to the connection problem through the hard disk. So I have to close all the processor which was running at the back end. So I have closed all the VMware which was working at the back end, the processor. After closing, I just restarted the SAP. Okay, once we restart the same procedure, how to log in. So let me combine this pointer, Control, Alt, Insert. So the password is the same thing, India123. Click on OK. Give any reason for your shutdowning the system or restarting the system. Once that is done, okay. Once that is done, we will go with the SAP Manage Console. Right click. Let me go to Start, and I give here India123. Click on OK. We'll have to wait until this turns into a green color. Okay. Okay, now it's turning to green color. We'll minimize this. Open the SAP log on screen. Click on log on. Now we can type here the username and the password to log in. Girls, so you have all noted down this procedure, right? How to log on? Any doubts in this log on procedure? Anybody has a log on procedure doubt?
No, no.
We will click on this log on now. The username SAP user India 123. Then the language English. Enter to log in. So this one I'll close. This one I'll close. too much of time consuming for this. Okay, meanwhile, I'll start with the next step until it loads. So this is tolerance group. Tolerance group, only this much we have. We do not have anything other than this. So after tolerance group, the next one is we will proceed with GL account. GL account. Okay. So for tolerance group, the navigations you can follow. I'll be sharing you later on. Now the T code is /n. Okay, /n, and then the T code is OBA4. OBA4. Okay, now enter. So you will get this tolerance group to define. Usually what happens whenever we create a company code, when we create a charts of accounts, field status variant, posting period variant, credit control area, what and all we have done, we will be creating and then assigning to the company code. But what happens here, when I go for new entries, the group name, what is the tolerance group name you want to define? You can define anything, but I choose to go with MCC1 itself. What is my company code? MCC1. See, usually what we used to do, we define first the group and then we will assign it. Now we are not going to assign. The reason, we have a company code here itself. Whatever the currency code which you have used in your company code, same thing will be applicable here. So the gray color means it is a suppressed field. Okay, wherever we can skip the field, that will become a optional field. Wherever we have to fill, must and should fill the details, then that becomes required field. Amount per document, what is till what extent I can manage? So I'll give here 11 times 9. Okay, I'm giving you 11 times 9. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Why? This is the highest amount which we can make a transaction. Means I'm just randomly giving a highest amount. And here per document. Per document means per invoice. Suppose sales, if I'm making total sales value till this much, it can be total income, total expenses in one bill, only one bill. Okay, per document means per bill. To this much extent, I can tolerate when I'm not receiving, when I'm not paying any money. In that case, per line item, amount per open item, account item, that means debit line, credit line. In a debit, how much extent you can maintain? In a credit, how much extent we can tolerate? So here I am giving 9 times 9. Okay, this is the extent I'm giving. If at all you want to give any difference here for your tolerance, yes, you can give. This is the only thing I'm giving. Amount is enough. I don't want this cash discount and all to be given when there is no amount has been received or no amount has been paid. So tolerance, which means how much extent we can tolerate others and how much extent others are tolerating us when we are not paying, when we are not receiving. It can be a purchase, it can be a sales, it can be your expenses, it can be your income also. So whatever you are going to do, that is your tolerance group. Okay, so I'm just giving per document. Amount per document means per invoice bill. We make a sales, one bill. We make one more sales, one more bill. So each and every bill, so that is per document. Per open item, debit line, credit line, what you're doing, that you will be doing it. Okay, this is what I'm giving. I'll save this, Control S, save. So same configurations, I'm getting description, enter and save it. Okay, now data is been saved. Data has been saved. I'll go back. So again, go back, F3. We can use F3. Now Let me give here SPRO, SPRO. Then I'm showing the same thing what we have created through the navigation. SAP reference IMG implementation guide. IMG means implementation guide. Now here we will go with the financial accounting, GL account. Yeah, GL account, that is general ledger account, business transactions, open item clearing, then clearing difference. So we are using which one? Define tolerance group for employee. This we are doing it. So what does it mean? What does this tolerance group actually means for an employee? Employee is making a transaction. The maximum amount that is permitted for an employee to post the transaction. So to post the transaction. Number of transactions. See, number of transaction that is allowed to employee. Okay, and then maximum line item for an employee permitted to enter in customer vendor GL account. So I said you here that is for the outstanding payables, receivables, or it can be expenses or income, anything that we are making for our debit and credit. So that is your line item. Okay, then the percentage of amount, the maximum accepted. So how much you are permitting for an employee to make the transaction, what is that is means here. We can also create a tolerance group for individual GL account, individual line entry. Individual line entry means um, for expenses separately, for income separately, for assets separately, we can define here for individual. Here group means group of employees, department wise functions like accounting department, HR department, executive department. So anything department wise you want to give, you can give that. That is up to you. So tolerance group is defined. So the next step what we will do is we will be using GL account. GL account. GL account means, so we have already created the charts of accounts. If you remember the charts of accounts which we have created here, accounting groups, all these things. So what I am taking here is we will only use this four concepts: expenses, income, and liabilities. Okay, so if you want, I'll take this reference. Yeah, because it will be helpful for us when we copy this. Okay, so I have copied the charts of accounts created. So charts of accounts created, this we have copied. So now what I have to do here is this one for this respective things. So expenses I have, so when I take it as expenses, what and all expenses we have for a company, can someone say me? What type of expenses we may have, what type of income we will have. So just give me a list of expenses. So we have expenses, office rent, right? We have an office rent expenses.
wages,
Yes, girls, just 2 minutes. Yes, so there's office rent, then someone said me wages, then salary,
maintenance,
yes, maintenance, repair, printing and
tax,
stationery. Yes, what ma?
tax,
Yes, tax. But what is this tax? Tax is the expenses for a company.
when they get profit, they should pay tax.
Yes. So that is this tax we can also show it as liabilities. We also treat it as expenses when we pay it, but it is liability. We are liable to pay the tax to the government for the income what we have earned. So that means it is based on income tax, so it comes on the liabilities. Okay, so we can show it here also in the taxes. Next one, printing and stationery, repair and maintenance, salary, wages, rent. Right, these are the things which we will be doing it. Okay, give me some examples for income. So commission received, interest received, brokerage received, sale of scrap. So when we say sale of scrap, we also have sales, and in the expenses we also have purchase. And when we come to assets, we have a cash, bank. So you have this land and building, plant and machinery. Anything else? Debtors, that is our customers. Okay, like this. And when we come to liabilities, on the liabilities we have a tax payable, creditors, capital, loan. So these are the things which we have. Now, to make the transaction, any transaction, as I have given an example in a previous class for debit and credit, for the salary paid or office rent paid, or say now, let me give an example saying that the transaction. So the transaction here, I gave here as Mr. A as started a business by investing, okay, by investing rupees 1 lakh. So 1 lakh. Now what the debit is what? Mr. A's capital. Is it right? Is it right? Debit Mr. A's capital? It is credit actually. So debit what it becomes? It becomes a cash in hand. So this is what it is. The transaction is for. Why cash in hand? So debit what comes in. So we will always make the transaction. So note all the transactions whatever we are doing. Okay, all the transactions whatever we are doing will be based on what? Company's assumption, not on an individual assumption. It is company's assumption, which means whether the company is receiving, company is paying, or what it is doing will be based on company's assumption only. Now company is receiving the cash, so debit the receiver. So receiving. Who is receiving? Company is receiving. Okay. So so it is received from Mr. A, which means Mr. A is paying. So I said in a very first class that we always treat in a situation based on we treat two different parties. Customer is different and the investor is different. Both are two different parties. That means a business entity and the business owner are two separate legal entity. So Mr. A is paying to the company. A is one party, company is another party. So both are different parties. Okay, debit the receiver, credit the giver. Company is receiving, A is giving. Okay, so now to make the transaction, we need this cash in hand and Mr. A. These are the two things which I need. So I need to create this cash in hand. Cash in hand and then Mr. A. Right? Mr. A, I need to use. So to make the transaction, these are the very important part, right? These are the two important part. So what I will be doing here, I will be creating this as a GL account. GL means General Ledger Account. So this is also the same part. This is also going to be your GL account. So whatever that is used for posting a transaction, we call it as GL account. So let's create one by one. Okay, we'll go for SAP. Now in this slash N F S 00. This is a T code. FS00 is a T code. Then now you press enter. So GL account creation centrally. GL account creation centrally. This is a point here. Now see what it shows, company code MT40, MT40. So this is not my company code. This is not what I have created. I need to change it. So first we will create one GL account, then we will create it. Go for this create option, create. Now what I want to create, I have to create a capital account. So capital means that is liabilities. The liabilities, what is the range we have created? 40,001 to 50,000. And if you remember this, then fine. So if not, I'm just repeating once again. 40,001, we have already used it for retained earning creation. Now we are going to use 40,000 to the second one. In between this range, we can create how much ever the ledgers that is actually required. So I'm going to create it for the liabilities. We'll go here. So the range is 40,002 and the name of my company is MCC1. Enter. Okay, once you enter, the screen will display. Now what I'm going to create? I'm going to create a capital account. So here, this is what, say in case this is a liabilities, by mistake I'm selecting here as assets. Okay, if I'm selecting as assets, now see, you can see account group only is in between the range of 30,001 to 40,000. So it is a wrong what I have selected. Select the proper one, liabilities, and this liabilities is profit and loss or balance sheet. When you are selecting assets and liabilities, it is a balance sheet. When you are selecting expenses or income, it is profit and loss. So balance sheet I have selected. Short description, you can give anything. I am giving here as the same thing, Mr. A's capital. Mr. A's capital. In the description, GL account, you can also give the same thing. You can copy and paste it, or you want to give it in some other way, that also you can do. So I'm using here Mr. A's share capital. You can repeat the same thing. And remember, for short text, the text, that is the number of spellings, characters, the limitation is 20. And for this long text, GL account, for this, the limitation is 50. For short text, it is 20. For GL account long text, it is 50. So first step where we are doing type and description, select it as liabilities, back for this control data, second tab, control data. Okay, you can fill all these details, but I'll use only the required field. Okay, I'll give a tick mark inside this line item display. Why I'm using line item display? I want to show the transaction separately. What is debit, what is credit? Separately I have to show that I'll be using. If you want to use a reconciliation, you can use it, but I don't want at present, so I'm not using it later. Okay, we will be using it later. Now, next one, sort key 001. What does this 001 means? Now, see here, so the one which I said line item display, how it want to show me. So whenever I make any transaction based on what it has to show me, based on assigned number, based on year wise, based on month wise, based on currency wise, purchase first, sales first, like that, one by one after the other, or you want to use whichever the method. So I am using here based on the date wise. I want all the transaction one below the other based on the date. So for that, I'm using 001. Okay. So second tab, control data is done. We'll go for create bank account. Field status variant. So we have many field status variant like G001, G002, like this. So the predefined one, whichever you are going to use, that you can use it. I'm going to use it as general for normal transactions. Okay, I'll give here as G001. Then that's all. This is enough. So I'll show you once again. Type and description, I have given here as liabilities, balance sheet, Mrs. A is capital, long description, same thing, you can give in any manner. Control data, accounting currency, by default you will get it as INR. I have given a check-in for line item display. Then sort key 001, we will go for create bank account interest in this field status variant G001. Wherever you get this drop down option or any field that is having a tick mark, those are required field. When I have no tick mark, whenever I go to any tab, so that is without filling those details also, I can save it. So when I save it, it will be accepted. Okay, mandatory field. Okay, when it is in gray color, that is suppressed field where I cannot make any changes. Okay, now we will save this, control S. Now what happened, it says that, see, this type of message you will get only when you are creating for balance sheet, assets and liabilities. For expenses and income, this message you will not get. I'll just press enter in order to accept this message. So what you're getting, data was saved. Now what I will do, since it is showing the company code of MT40 only, so I have an option here has change company. See, change company code. Let me click on this. Instead of MT40, show me this for MCC1. So I have created which one? I have created only Mr. A's capital. So we have to create the other things also. Anybody has a doubt in this? And this creations, GL account creations? Reply me. Any doubts? Okay, good. Amrita, fine. Any others? Then no one is listening to the classes. Okay, so let's continue. I'll go for this. Now what we are doing, we have this GL account created. Okay, now same way we will create Mr. B's capital account. So go for create. So it is 4003, 40,003. Company code is MCC1. Enter. Once you press enter, the screen has to change. I'm sorry, I've used the same thing. 40,003. Yeah. So type and descriptions. So see here 40,003 MCC1. I have to select the same liabilities. Now it is my balance sheet again. Now sort key is Mr. A's capital you were selecting. Now I'm going to give here as Mr. B's capital. Mr. B's capital GL account Mr. B's share capital. Okay, done. Now I go for control data, give a check-in, that is tick mark inside this line item display. Sort key 001. 001 is used for making the transaction according to the date of transaction, based on date of transaction. Go for create bank account. We will give here as G001 to arrange the field status variant based on normal transaction, general transaction with the narrations. So then we will save it. So again enter. Done. Next one, again I go for create. Suppose if you have taken a loan, suppose if you have taken a loan, so 4003 is done. So 40,004, enter. So let me go for this type. Then I take the same balance sheet, liabilities. So here I take here as loan from bank. Loan from bank. Then GL account is again I'll take the same thing, loan from bank. So why, when it is a bank, you can also say this as secured loan. Secured loan, I'll close the bracket, then go for this control data, line item display, sort key 001, create bank account. So in this G001, that's all. Save this. Same way you can create as much as the ledgers you want. Now we will create for assets. I'll go for this create. For assets, what is the configuration screens we have given? Limitations from 30,001 to 40,000, right? This is from 30,001 to 40,000 we have created. So I'm giving here 30,001. 30,001 MCC. So here again type and descriptions. It is balance sheet. I'm creating here for assets. Short description, cash in hand. So again here also I'm giving cash in hand. If at all you want to copy and paste it, you can copy and then you can paste it. No problem in that also. Control data. Again the same thing, line item display, sort key 001. We'll go for create bank interest. So here it is G001. G001 and save it. So assets has been created. If you are maintaining any transaction that is related to bank, you want to use a bank account also, you can create that. So 30,002, the company code is MCC1, type and descriptions, say same thing, balance sheet. It is my assets. So you can take it as bank itself or you can give a bank name. I take here as HDFC Bank. HDFC Bank. Then GL account, I'll use the same thing, HDFC Bank. Then we will go for control data. Here again the same thing, line item display based on 001, that is posting date, and field status variant G001, general transaction. Save it. Okay, done. So any other things you have regarding this expenses, income, anything, you can create it. So next one, I'm going for again create. So this time we will go for expenses. For expenses, what we have created. So it is 10,001 to 20,000. So 10,001 MCC1. So type and description. So this is profit and loss, expenses. Then we will go for expenses. We will take it as office, rent. Then GL account. Again, I take here as office, rent, control data. So control data, line item display, sort key, G001. Save it. Now see, I didn't get the dialog box when I'm creating the expenses. So let me create one more. Salary. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. It's not a salary. We have to give the number range. So expenses 10,002. MCC1. So profit and loss, expenses. Then here what we will create, salary. Salary, again salary account, control data, line item display, sort key 001, and then here it is G001. Okay, let me save this. Okay, one income also we will create it. I'll go for create. For income we have given 2001, that is 20,001 to what we have going to create. So I'll give you a type and descriptions. This is my income and profit and loss. Let me give you it as interest. Interest received from, see, the characters is not accepted, so I'm giving in a short form. Interest received interest received from bank. So here I type here interest received from bank. If you want to give the bank name also, you can give here. So control data, line item display, sort key 001, create bank account. So what we are going to do here is G001, save it. So till here, if anybody has a confusions or any doubts in this part of GL creation, you can let me know. Girls, please respond me whether you have any doubts or what. Anything it is there, you please let me know. Okay. Without understanding whether you are understanding or not, simply if I keep on explaining you blindly, then even I won't be satisfied whether you are understanding or not. Especially one. And second thing, again when you are practicing, you may have some confusions also. So I don't want that confusions also. Anywhere you have a doubt, please let me know. Okay, so that means no doubts. Any others? Why only Hamruta responds me? Others no are not responding me. No doubts, ma'am. Okay, Kritika, thank you. Okay, so the next part, this also we will create. So I go here, again the GL account. Since we have already created everything, so in the expenses itself, I'm going to create the next one. Create. So 10,000, 1, 10,000, 2, 10,000, 4. Okay, 10,004. No, I'll go back. Slash NFS00. So expenses, create. So 10,003. Enter. Now look this is very important. So it is my income. What type of income? So this is, sorry, expenses. So the expenses here is purchase. When I make a purchase, I'm paying, yes, purchase account. Purchase account. Control data, line item display, same thing. This is 001 as per the date, and field status variant is also G001. So you can save this. Expenses is done. In our income, we will create the next one. So it is 20,002 for income. Type and descriptions we will take here as income. And this is again the balance, sorry, profit and loss. So this is my sales account. So we will receive a money, so it becomes a income. When I make a sales, I'll be receiving money. Line item display 001, create bank and interest. So it is G001, and I will save this. So creation of expenses, that is anything related to purchase or sales, we have no problem. But see, when I am making a purchase, that is expenses. When I'm making a purchase, I make a purchase from some person. That person, we call it as sundry creditors, which comes under liabilities. We'll go for this. So it is 4 lakh 5 40,005 MCC1, company code, type and descriptions. So this is my liabilities, balance sheet. This is my sundry creditors. Sundry creditors. So control data, till now what we used to do, only line item display, then 001. But we have another option, reconciliation account type. So who are this? These are my suppliers, we call them as vendors. Thus you have to select it. Then create and bank account, you can give G001 also. Okay, G001 is accepted. In case if you want to change to some other things, then you can go for receivables and payables, sorry, reconciliation account. There it is. Reconciliation account for payables, like this you will have. So whichever you want to use, reconciliations or clearance, payment clearance, anything you want to use, you can use it, but I prefer to use G001 only. Okay, in case if you want to go with the reconciliation, you can use it. I'm using G001 and I'm saving this. So data has been saved, sundry creditor. Same way, assets also we will create here. So it is 3 lakh 3, sorry, 30,003 MCC1, type and descriptions we give here as assets, balance sheet, and this is sundry data. Sundry data means our customers. So sundry debtors. Control data, reconciliation account, customers, line item display, sort key 001, create bank interest, so G001, done. And we will save this. This is how we have to create all the ledgers. Clear? Whatever the transaction which we are going to make, we will be using by creating the GL account. Once we create the GL account, the next step is where we are going to make the transactions. Is that clear to everyone? Okay, now So I have already dropped you a message regarding this SAP installation. So hope you would have already seen. Whoever has not yet installed, so get it installed tomorrow. Okay. Make sure you come, you plan according to your wish. Okay. So make sure all you come together so that there won't be a problem again and again. One or the other is getting installed or not. We can give it at one shot, right? Everyone can be like everyone's systems can have a SAP install at one go. Okay, so after 2 years, like 2 hours, you can collect it. You have to wait for 2 hours once you give your system. So plan according to your convenience, whatever the time you want to come, all of you, all the three. Then, because I got only a response from three people only, so based on that, I'm saying you. Okay. So once it is done tomorrow, once you all get SAP installed, so we all can do simultaneously one by one. I'll do the first step, you can do the second step. I mean the same repetitions so that if you are having a error or anything, we can discuss together. Fine. And then from tomorrow, we will be starting the transactions. Is that clear to everyone?
Yeah, ma'am.
Good. So what we'll do, we'll wind up the class now. We'll have a class tomorrow again. Bye everyone. Take care.
Thank you, ma'am.